All right, this is a little bit old, but well, old. I mean, it was posted a month ago, but I didn't watch all of it, so I want to see, because the thing is, what was I gonna say? Damn, I lost that track. Oh, okay. A lot of people, because of the weather, were I guess like it was supposed to be an outside thing, but they did an inside thing because the weather was not so good. So I want to see. I want to remind myself what it was like around the.
Trump number 47 in 43 minutes. Happy days are here again.
This is We the Sequel, We the People, round 2, as we take back our capital, as we take back the country after January 6th and all of those people rotting in jail for no reason. Most of them.
I'm ready to see gas prices under $1.50. I'm ready to see the Federal Reserve abolished. I'm ready to see Trump buy 1 million Bitcoins for a strategic reserve for
Yikes.
us Americans to have. I'm ready to see
he rug pulled that, right? If I recall correctly.
the northern, the southern borders secure. I'm ready to see inflation go down to 0. I'm ready for all the Jan 6 prisoners not only to get a
But nobody's going to remember that.
But to get multi-million-dollar payouts in the future. And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice
None of that has happened yet. As someone from the future talking to you now, none of that has happened yet. But he's working on it. He's working on it.
Hotel stay at a future Trump tower that gets built there. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, you know Greenland is like -30 right now, though.
Well, Greenland is really cold and icy, and Iceland is really green and nice, right?
Yeah, it was like they named it that to trick the Vikings. So Iceland's the green one. So they were like, the Vikings, they were scared of them, so they were just like, yo, we're going to call Greenland Iceland and reverse it. So that the Vikings got to Greenland and were like, fuck.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm really honestly going to be proud to see our president able to walk and not crap himself in front of the world stage. It's nice to have a president that can speak English without mumbling. It's nice to have a president.
Look, the man had probably early signs of dementia, but I don't remember him shitting his pants.
That the people on the world stage actually respect and maybe fear a little bit. Remember when he did the thing with
Fear is
Rocket
good.
Man? People said
Fear is good. Like Hitler. Fear is good.
he was going to start World War III. He's like, Rocket Man, I've got the biggest rocket. I got a bigger button. I've got a bigger rocket.
Like Nicolae Ceausescu. Fear is good. Fear is good.
Rocket
Like
Man
Saddam Hussein.
is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
And everyone said that was going to start World War III. But did it? No, it actually backed off, Rocket Man.
Like
And
this
in the end,
guy.
they ended up
They fear this guy, and this guy's awesome.
shaking hands, which had never been done before, never been done in the history of the world. And it's that strength that you need when you come into a negotiation. You don't need some guy bumbling and barely able to walk, rolling up in front of the world leaders. They're laughing behind our backs. They're making us look foolish. At least Trump has swagger. He's got Americana, and he's a badass.
Oh my
I definitely
God.
think he's learned a lot. I think, while we definitely didn't want the last 4 years, I think he's benefited from 4 years of just seeing what can happen. And now he's got the right.
Don't bring your fuck. Or actually, no, never mind. Okay. I was going to say don't bring your kids to this. But then like under normal circumstances, I would say, yeah, celebrate like, the new president. You know what? Never mind. I'm not touching that stick.
Right team assembled. He knows how to move things around. And I think we're going to see real meaningful change.
Yeah, I'm ready for Elon to really
I feel like bringing your kids to like a presidential inauguration is like bringing your kids to church. It's just like, when are we going to drink the wine and go home?
cut most of the 2 million plus jobs in the federal government out of the equation. And I'm ready to see over 400 bureaucracies here in the United States that are like a cancer in God's U.S. Republic completely abolished. The IRS needs to be abolished.
I would like to see, say, Department of Education.
Yes, brother, preach. Get the IRS out of there. Fuck those guys.
Gone. I would like to see ATF
Better Call Saul, bro. Next Better Call Saul right there.
gone.
Why do you want the Department of Education shut down?
Before the Department of Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education.
Yes, in education. After the Department of Education, I think today we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind, drastically dumbed down.
What? That high?
The curriculum. Fortune. It's 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world. Before the Department of Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education.
Yes, in education.
How high is United States ranked in education? Education rating by country. Oh. Iceland, Germany. 13th? There's no way it's that high. Bro, if the United States is ranked 13th in education, can you imagine? Where's Romania, by the way? How dumb the rest of the world is. Oh my goodness gracious. This. Okay. All right. If you say so.
After the Department of Education, I think today we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind, drastically dumbed down. The curriculums made it so that students couldn't fail. And then every time the curriculum is seen to be upgraded, the teachers union shut it down.
Interesting. Do you think teachers should be paid more?
No.
Why?
There shouldn't be a public education system.
And I'm ready for Donald John Trump to make Bitcoins illegal.
Wait. What? Okay.
Tender here, like what has happened in El Salvador with naive.
Okay. Okay, so there shouldn't be a public education system, so everything's private then, and people, I guess each school gets to charge however much they want for the education that they offer, but you know that the best schools are going to charge the highest prices, and then unless you're one of the wealthiest people in the country, your kid is gonna get an, like, I guess no, or okay, yeah.
Bukele.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What's the benefit of having
what's the upside? Yeah, you either get the same or worse if you're like middle class or poor.
cryptocurrency reserve?
Well, with Bitcoins, we have to adapt to that as Americans. We have to have that because if we don't, we're going to be very, very far behind of other nations like El Salvador, who's leading the way.
Yeah.
Those people there.
I guess it's just important to have market regulation when it comes to, Bitcoin because of pump and dump schemes. Like, did you see the Haktua coin?
Right. That's a huge problem. We have Bitcoins. They're incredible. And then we have all the scam coins out there. And there are so many altcoins that are just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because it's
life
hard.
after life after life.
It's hard because you want to have a free market, but then the crypto world is just so full of scams. It's like you need some element of regulation.
Right. There needs to be some type of thing put in, and hopefully Trump can get it done.
What do you think about this upcoming presidency, bro?
I'm actually Cuban.
Okay.
I was born in Cuba. I came in 2011. First terms for Trump, didn't really agree with him. Didn't really agree with the way that he spoke about immigrants, especially I was not citizen yet. I didn't think about voting on the second term, but
he changed, and he said Mexicans are actually nice people, and they work hard, and they're not criminals. And now, in this world that we live in right now, this man voted for a peaceful Trump.
something happened. I saw that Biden took such a comfortable backseat during July 6th back in Cuba. I don't know if you've heard about the situation.
Tell us about it.
So I think it was 2022. There was a massive revolt all around the island. all the cities were taking to the streets, protesting that they were sick and tired. There's no food, there's no power. The government basically hoards all the resources, and instead of distributing them like they're supposed to, communism, they give it to like the people that were close with them, the agents.
Like Venezuela.
Like Venezuela, exactly, same thing. It was violent. The police were. There are videos of police breaking into like.
So here's what I know about the situation. Which is not a lot. I am kind of like a very stupid man, but receive is a bad word. But when did Cuba get the embargo? Okay, so there was a Cold War, which basically mean who has the biggest penis in terms of like weapons between Russia and America, I think. With Fidel Castro running Cuba at the time as a dictator of the country, from what I remember. Although, like, I guess dictator doesn't mean anything this day and age, because Zelensky apparently is a dictator as well. So, what happened is, well, the way I understand it is Cuba was doing some shady things, for lack of a better word, with Russia, in terms of like building a correspondence with them as a way to, I don't know, go against the Americans or something like that. And so United States put an embargo, which was sort of like a trade cut. Is the most enduring trade embargo in modern history. So economic sanctions or embargoes are commercial and financial penalties. So the United States provided penalties toward Cuba. And this was in 1958. So to this day, I remember Barack Obama and the Democratic Party made strides towards lifting these penalties in order to, rebuild a trade relationship between Cuba and the United States, but it's still in effect to this day, if I'm not mistaken. During U.S. Batista regime, the Cuban Revolution, high U.S. import taxes and forfeiture of U.S.-owned economic assets, including oil refineries, without compensation. The U.S. retaliated in 1960 with total embargo on Cuban trade, with exception for food and medicine. So this is a huge reason why the country has been so fucked over the past, how long has it been? 60 years? Because the United States refrains Cuba from free trade. And apparently these guys think that, I guess, Trump will mend that relationship.
The house of one of the organization leaders, they shot him right in front of the family. You can see like the blood running. It's really sad. I was crying throughout that entire play. Like
that is very sad.
It was tragic.
And how did Biden respond to the July 6th events?
He didn't do anything. He basically said we're not gonna touch anything revolving around Cuba. We're gonna leave them to their devices. And there's a group of Cubans that today are gonna be having a protest.
Let me Google. Lift Cuba's embargo. Although the Cuban trade embargo can only be ended by the U.S. Congress, the Obama administration took executive action to ease some of the restrictions on travel to Cuba by U.S. citizens, as well as restrictions. The saddest part about this is Cuba is such a fucking beautiful country. I've visited Cuba a lot of times, although I haven't visited. Okay, full disclosure, I haven't visited like like when I visit Cuba, it's been mostly like at resorts. So I guess, what do I know about it? The country is extremely poor. You can see right away as you like drive through it. But as far as the people are concerned, they reminds me of Romania a little bit. Like very humble people, very nice people. Not all of them, obviously. Same with Romanians. Like there are a lot of like people that commit crime and things like that in Romania. I'm sure there's the same in Cuba. And it's such a beautiful island that to not see it thrive because of like a betrayal of one person and just petty squabble is very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
That's in front of the White House to basically encourage
It's very
Trump
upsetting,
to
but
look
the
at that
world
situation
is a complicated place.
try to do something, try to help.
Yeah.
And fair.
How long did it take you to achieve citizenship?
Well, for me, it was around 6-7 years. It's not hard. You just gotta know history, learn the history. They literally give you a booklet with the answers.
I should try the test. See if I get it right.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can you tell me about your sign?
Sure. So mine says protect trans kids. There's a lot of discourse about trans people right now. All of the talking points being made are word for word identical to what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago about gay people.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
I think
fucking
if
idiot.
kids want to change their name, explore.
Bro, animals are gay too. Like they're okay. Never mind. I'm not going. Perhaps I don't know enough information.
Gender identity, do whatever the fuck they want. That's fine. If they at some point
That's
want to
pretty
do
funny.
something medical about it, then they can have an informed conversation with a parent and or medical professional.
And what threat do you think the next 4 years pose to that?
I mean, Trump said he's going to sign an executive order on day one saying that there are two genders. So there's a pretty imminent threat.
Did he Did he actually do that? His first 100 executive order. Barnacles. I just want to see. Sex shall refer to an individual's immutable biological classification as either male or female. Sex is not a synonym for and does not include the concept of gender identity. Okay? Gender ideology replaces the biological category of sex with an ever-shifting concept of self-assessed gender identity, permitting the false claim that males can identify as and thus become women and vice versa, and requiring all institutions of society to regard this false claim as true. Gender ideology includes the idea that there is a vast spectrum of genders that are disconnected from one's sex. Gender ideology is internally inconsistent in that it diminishes sex as an identifiable or useful category, but never useful for who? Useful for what? But nevertheless maintains that it is possible for a person to be born in the wrong sexed body. Okay, so yeah, like what that guy was saying, basically. Gender ideology, gender identity. When administering or enforcing sex-based distinctions, every agency and all federal employees acting in an official capacity on behalf of their agency shall use the term sex and not gender. Okay. I mean, sure, if you say so. Federal funds shall not be used to promote gender ideology. Okay. Each agency shall assess grant conditions and generate grantee preferences and ensure grant funds do not promote gender ideology. Okay. What else did he say? Each agency head... Wait. Hold up. Agency implementation and reporting within 120 days of the date this order. Each agency head shall submit an update on implementation of this order to the President through the Director of the Office of Management and Budget. That update shall address the White House Toolkit. on transgender inequality, supporting transgender youth in school. Okay, this part I don't fully understand. All right, back to school messages for transgender students.
Of getting kicked out of the military, losing gender inclusive care. People are going to die from this, and that's really shitty.
Transgender students in sports became a top issue on the 2024 campaign trail and now a top priority of House Republicans in the new Congress.
The only time that the general public, started caring about trans people in women's sports was when they started winning. Like, Leah Thomas isn't even, she's a good swimmer. She's not the best.
Yeah.
There's no epidemic of men going into women's sports and sweeping competition. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And also being on estrogen long term actually, like, weakens your physical abilities. And medical transition is often necessary to compete in women's sports for trans people. So, like,
hatred has won, and that is depressing. I cried on election day. I know so many other women who cried on election day. This means that so many people have to go into hiding, can't be themselves. People are, like Grant said, people are gonna die. People are, it's just, I'm legitimately terrified for my immigrant friends. I stay awake at night thinking about them, thinking about trans people.
That's
Whether
a tough
or not you
situation
think
to be
that
in.
gay people should exist, trans people should exist, immigrants should be here or not, what I hope we can all come together and understand is that humans are humans. Maybe they did commit a crime. Maybe they do something that you don't agree with. They are still people. The mass deportations of immigrants.
Hey, Biden supported the Vietnam War and killed a lot
The
of
mass
people in
deportation
Vietnam.
of
How do you feel
immigrants
about that?
is
I think Biden's a
going
shithead.
to kill people.
Right?
Yeah, Biden's shit.
Okay, great.
What are your thoughts on the whole like mass deportation?
Okay, great.
Mass deportation. My wife is Mexican. Like I said, I live by the border. I love the Mexican people. There's a lot of good people. We definitely start at the top, meaning the worst, and work our way down. You know, necessarily not so many, all these little, people with their families or people second generation, this and that. Let's not get too carried away. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way down. When you got murders and rapists in San Diego County, we have not just a sanctuary city, we have a super sanctuary city where.
See, when they say that you got murders and rapists, I always get confused. Are they talking about Americans? Or are they talking about Mexicans? Or are they talking about both? And if that's the case, are the Americans getting deported to Mexico as well?
Not only can you not tell ICE if there's a problem with an illegal alien, you can't tell them even if they committed armed robbery or rape. They're like, no, what about the poor rapists in armed robbery? We can't send them back. We can't tell ICE.
We will not allow our local resources to be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resource.
Wait. We will not allow our resources to be used for actions that separate families, harm community trust, or divert critical local resources away from addressing our most pressing challenges. I mean,
is to be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resources, which is what they calling ICE, just because they want to protect illegal aliens. I think the people that are doing these laws are actually paid off by the cartel. It's a crazy conspiracy.
how are you gonna this? Bro, it's a human. Why are you calling it her an alien? Like, it's just call.
I know. It's one thing having immigration,
I guess,
but when you just have a total open border, and then when they come in, they get free health care, they get free cell phones, they get free hotels when our homeless people are living on the streets. I mean, come on, people. We got to do this legally, right?
We need to have a very solid immigration policy so we keep attracting the best talents across the world to this land to build it up, build the economy, build companies, hire
She's a spy.
employees.
This girl's a spy. Get her out. Spy.
People,
Ding,
I
ding,
pay
ding, ding,
tax,
ding, ding.
and I want my tax to benefit my neighbors, my country, and my children, and my neighborhood, my community, right? I don't want other
Spy.
countries take advantage of United States people.
Scientology's a cult. Thank you.
Are you a Scientologist?
Nope.
Do you think
Use women and children.
Do you think that we're Scientologists?
Nope. Just getting the message out. That's all.
Okay, what's the worst thing Scientology's done?
They use children for auditing, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds are asking grown men about masturbation and anal sex.
That's not good. Do you feel like
Hashtag save the children.
Why does he know that? God.
Children. Are you hoping for like exoneration for the January 6th people?
I am indeed. In fact, I was down there at the vigil for the J6ers down on Freedom Corner with Mickey Withoff, who is Ashley Babbitt's mother. In fact, I have Ashley Babbitt's ashes in this necklace right here. I made this necklace with Ashley Babbitt's ashes. I made it for her and her husband.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
And I was down there and I was told that the word on the street is the guards were told to stay late tonight to help release the prisoners.
Are they being held in D.C. right now?
Oh, yeah. They're not far from here, a few miles down the street.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. Any message to the American people before we go?
You should go watch his movie. This guy makes some great documentaries. I went to his premiere. It was freaking awesome. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks, dog. Have a good one.
If you missed it, just 5 days ago, we dropped our first ever independent film called Dear Kelly, a project that's being received quite well across the political spectrum. It explores the life, backstory, and beliefs of a man named Kelly J. Patriot, who I met at a White Lives Matter rally in 2021.
Kobe Bryant was assassinated by the Clintons.
The film was shot over the course of 3.5 years, documenting Kelly's radicalization, his quest for revenge against a private lender, and his family's attempts to pull him out of the rabbit hole and put family first. The film is currently being self-hosted and privately distributed at www.dearkellyfilm.com for the low rental cost of $5.55. So if you want to support us and see the movie, head on over. All right, back to the streets of D.C.
Oh yeah, we are surrounded by ancient pagan symbols, from the obelisk there, which may be the biggest obelisk in the world, to the dome there of Isis, the ever-pregnant womb of Isis in the occult mindset. That's what that is. With the apotheosis of George Washington, which is that mural inside the dome, which represents that Masonic future that so many Masons are into having, or the ascendance that.
Has this always been there? That's pretty sick.
Masonic.
How old is this?
Future that so many Masons are into having, where they ascend as a god into some type of paradise. It's not from the Bible, and I'm totally against all that. I'm standing here for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth.
Wait, I'm a bit confused. You're here for Jesus Christ. However, the pagan symbology is also important.
Well, it's not important to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because the plan that was put in place to build Washington, D.C. was a plan, in fact, to honor the ancient gods. And the plan was not to honor Jesus Christ. The people who designed this place, the main people, were into it to honor their Masonic god, who is Satan, recorded about in the King James Version Bible.
Who do you think was controlling Biden behind the scenes?
Obama was definitely a key player. But again, in my research, Obama is more like a manager in Satan's hierarchy. He's got the World Economic Forum, he's got the UN, he's got King Charles and the monarchy, Satan. He's got so many different groups that have extreme amounts of power compared to me.
Yeah.
Who, Obama?
Do you think that there's kind of like a second deep state forming around Trump?
Well, just protect Trump from having that happen, God. Please help him not to make the same mistakes that he made when he was 43rd president of the United States, God.
And where do you get most of your news and information from?
X, not just Infowars.com with Alex Jones.
Did you use X back when it was in control of Jack Dorsey?
Well, I did, and I got suspended multiple times.
Was that kind of a wake-up call for you, just having your account taken down multiple times?
No, because fucking Elon let me say the dumbest shit freely, so I didn't learn anything.
Aware of that type of thing back in 2013 when I started listening to Alex Jones. He started to wake me up to how things really work in a general way. How we're in a war, and there's a group called the globalists, and they want to depopulate the earth, and they want to get it down to under 500.
This tracks. This tracks. This is okay. I understand.
100 million people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring in their new world order system. Their
This guy
technocratic state
being here saying these things, he's saying, okay, it's all coming together.
Can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. It's right there in the book of Revelation, the King James Version Bible. I mean, we may live in that time. We may go through it. I'm ready to die for Jesus. I'm never taking the mark of the beast no matter what.
What's the mark of the beast?
It could be a microchip in your hand, this one, your right one, or your left one, and then maybe it's some type of Neuralink chip in your head.
Yeah.
Or maybe something more advanced than that.
Yeah.
Some people have said the nanoparticulates, or however you say it, in those bioweapon shots from Big Pharma are some type of Mark of the Beast thing. But, I don't know.
Hey, man, well, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you. And our show's called Channel 5. Be sure to check it out, man. Appreciate you, dude.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome, too.
Thank God for his life.
Yeah, man.
I love you.
You too.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine.
Fuck the authority. Channel 5 News.
Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
I thought maybe they were going to discuss like how the people were feeling about, like, you know, not being able to have like an outdoor inauguration, but this was good too. This was just as good. Anyways, very interesting stuff. Very interesting.